Good morning. So, I am pretty sure this is not going to work. But I have thoughts. Scintillating thoughts and turgid ideas. A swirling miasma, my mind is. I'm pretty sure you just hear, like, car rumble, but I'll test that. So I have struggled with the idea that God just forgives. Like it's like, yeah, ask for forgiveness and your sin is as far from you as the east is from the west. Which is a really interesting logical simile. But you still feel bad about it, and you still feel like you shouldn't get off the hook so easy. Or at least I do. I don't like the Lord's not hard enough on me is my problem. That's what I keep thinking. Lord, why would you just forgive me? How dare you? Just take the forgiveness, take the W, move on. So I've tried to pay attention to where there are instances of people who ask for forgiveness but kind of don't really mean it. You know, they don't have, I don't know how well this is. Anyways, they don't have any it's not a contrite, it's not a broken forgiveness. It's not a broken request. It's a perfunctory request. This is the thing I have to do in order to get in your good graces. So, I want to search myself and determine, am I, truly repentant? Am I truly turning away from the thing that I've done? And I think the answer, the revelation perhaps, the answer is, have you taken steps to reduce the likelihood, reduce the possibility of the sin for which you are asking for repentance, that sin is going to happen again? And that, I think, is a much better way of handling things. Because then you have action that is intended to reduce you from having sin. So if you are to place yourself in situations where you're on the computer with internet access alone at 2 a.m., and like, oh no, how did this happen? Well, you know how it happened. There's a whole series of circumstances that have had to, I get hand motions over here. I can gesticulate all I want. So there's a series of circumstances that are set up beforehand in order to make this thing possible, in order to make the sin come to fruition. And the fruits of sin, obviously, are death. So, we don't want that. Death is bad. I have lived in the true death, the second death. So, we want to plan things out beforehand and set up situations or unset up situations so that it becomes harder to fall into that trap. And it's a pretty obvious thing. It's a pretty insidious thing. I think about if you're driving to work every day for years and you drive the same road to work and you convert to Christianity, and the work of Christianity, the job for Christianity that you're driving to is is in the same direction, off the same road, but you make a different turn. You're on the same road for a while, and then you turn off on Christianity, and then hey presto, you're good, you're doing great. But you get up in the morning, and maybe you're a little too tired, maybe you're a little too worn out, maybe it was a long night, or any other number of things. But the point is, you lose track, you stop paying attention, you stop focusing, and when that happens, you fall right back into the same ruts on the same road that lead to the same place. And you wind up at your old work, your old job, right on time to be late for the job that you actually should be going to. So you're because you stopped paying attention, because you failed to control yourself or failed to keep your focus, maintain your focus, you fell into those same ruts. But there's another thing that's at play here, and it's the fact that you're driving on the same road. And when you drive on the same road, you tend to, especially if it's something you've done for a very long time, it's something that it's easy to slip into. So the question is, you're driving to work, you're intending to go to Christianity, you're intending to do the right thing, and then you wind up at the wrong place, at the wrong time, at cost to yourself, your actual monetary cost probably, because you're going to be late for the new job. I'm kind of stretching my metaphor here, but I hope you get what I'm saying. The point is, if you travel even close to those previous ruts, and those can be physical ruts on the road, or those can be intellectual ruts, I guess I'm really just talking about habits. These are habits. The solution to that is don't even get close to the previous path. Don't even acknowledge the previous path. Drive the opposite direction. Go around, come to a different road, and come up to Christianity from the other side, so you stay away from that road. Just stay away, as far away as you can from it. And, doesn't that take extra, doesn't that take more time? Doesn't that take longer? Yes, it does. Because those ruts in that road, and that habit that you're forming of going to Christianity rather than going to the same old place you used to go to, those ruts are going to take a long time to wear out of the road. And while those ruts are wearing out of the road, while they're evening out over time, you're wearing new ruts on a new road to the new place that you want to be. You're making new habits. And that's the goal. It's not, if you're trying to quit something, the point is to replace it with something else. You make a new habit. You don't just make the old one vanish, because that's not how our brains work. It just doesn't happen. So if you find yourself often on the computer at 3 a.m. by yourself and go, oh no, what just happened? Oh, how did this happen? How did I get here? The answer is, all right, well, let's set up a internet router rule that cuts off the internet at 2 a.m. Cuts off the internet at midnight. Or, hey, we're just going to do something crazy and cut it off at 10 o'clock. That might be beneficial in other ways. You cut off the internet at 10 o'clock. All right. And now you don't have internet access. Obviously, everything has to be cleaned on your computer, wiped out. And if you have some knowledge, you're like, well, these are things that are meant to stop me, but I can work my way around those. Frog and Toad. We shouldn't eat these cookies. Well, we'll put them up on this bookshelf, but what if we get a ladder and get them off the bookshelf? Oh, yes, that's a good point. We will eat the cookies if we get a ladder. The point is just to reduce the likelihood of accidentally, either truly accidentally or accidentally, not really accidentally, falling into those ruts, falling into those old habits. So if the internet access thing doesn't work because you've got your cell phone and it has cell network access, well, okay, let's just there's all kinds of not cheater applications, but honesty applications. I've heard of applications that send screenshots of your computer to your boss via email, every 10 minutes or something like that, at random periods within each hour or something. That's something that's pretty aggressive. But if you have this cognitive control over yourself, and that's the big thing, is understanding that you are not under. Oh well, Luke Smith actually talked about this. I'm gonna go back to Luke Smith. He said you're not so out of control that you won't spontaneously start pleasuring yourself while you're in the middle of a library or in the middle of a bunch of people with no screens or internet access or anything like that. That is not how you are not that out of control. And because you're not that out of control, you have some intellectual capacity to say, no, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to remove myself from this situation. I'm going to put up roadblocks to prevent me from doing these things. I'm going to go take a walk so I don't have privacy, and I'm not likely to slip into any of these things. You make it basically impossible for you to do that. And then the moment passes and you go, oh, well, that wasn't so hard. You didn't have the drive because you took away the circumstances. You didn't know it was possible. And that loud voice inside your head that goes, we should do wicked things, huh? Yeah, look, the situation's perfect. And you go, okay, well, I'm going to go to the library now. And it's like, well, you can't really, maybe like in the library bathroom you could do that. Like, in the library bathroom, that's kind of weird and gross. And like, oh, okay, well, so there are limits. Are there limits? Are there intellectual limits that you are you still decision making, I guess, is the real question. It's like, if you're just blackout drunk, obviously, you're not going to be able to say, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. And that is kind of the point of not getting blackout drunk, of not being that so completely out of control of yourself that you are just an animal. Just an animal. And I don't think you're an animal. I think you are a divine human being who has power and authority and the ability to take it and use it to control yourself against the sin of this world. I believe in you. You can do the thing. It's hard to tell where the camera is.